Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine O Ajnanatimirandasya Janardana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Navistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saharanagaranamikam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Sarvadhutam Parijanasayam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saharanagaranamikam Sakanamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Devi Pranamami Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastani Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, the creative impetus, chapter 19, description of the island of Jambudvi, text number 7. Na janmanunam mahato na saubhagham Buddhir na kritis to sahetu Taryad visistam apinobano kasha Chakana sakye bata lakshmana kracha Janmanunam mahato na saubhagham Navam na buddhir na kritis to sahetu Taryad visistam apinobano kasa Chakar sakye bata lakshmana kracha Saubhagam Navang Buddhir Nakritis Tusahito Kaya Visistang Apino Bano Kasa Chakara Sakye Vatalaksmana Praja Synonyms, word for word meaning. Not. Janma, birth in a very polished, aristocratic family. Nunam, indeed. Mahata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nor. Saubhagam, great fortune. Nor. Vak, an elegant manner of speaking. Nor. Buddhi, sharpness of intelligence. Not. Akriti, features of the body. Doshahetu, the cause of pleasure to the Lord. By all those above mentioned qualities. Yat.
Yat.
Because.
Because.
Visristan.
Visristan.
Rejected.
Rejected.
Api.
Api.
Although.
Although.
Naha.
Naha.
Us.
Us.
Vana Ukashaha.
Vanamasa.
The inhabitants of the forest.
Inhabitants of the forest.
Chakara.
Chakara.
Accepted.
Accepted.
Sakya.
Sakya.
In friendship.
In friendship.
Bata.
Bata.
Alas.
Alas.
Lakshmana Agraja.
Lakshmana Anugrah.
Lord Sri Ramachandra.
Lord Sri Ramachandra.
The elder brother of Lakshmana.
Lakshmana.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Purport. In a prayer to Krishna expressing her feelings, Srimati Kunti Devi called him Akinchana Gochara. The prefix A means not, and Kinchana, something of this material world. One may be very proud of his prestigious position, material wealth, beauty, education, and so on. But although these are certainly good qualifications in material dealings, they are not necessary for achieving friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who possesses all these material qualities is expected to become a devotee. And when he actually does, the qualities are properly utilized. Those who are puffed up by a high birth, wealth, education, and personal beauty, Janmaishvarya Shuta Shri, unfortunately do not care for developing Krishna consciousness, nor does the Supreme Personality of Godhead care about all these material qualifications. The Supreme Lord is achieved by devotion, bhaktya mang abhijanati. One's devotion and sincere desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead are the only qualifications. Rupa Goswami has also said that the price for achieving God's favor is simply one's sincere eagerness to have it. Loyam ekam mulyam. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is said, Kola becha seva kera deka bhagya shima Brahma Shiva kandeya ratekiya mahima Dane jane panditye Krishna nahi pai Kevala bhaktira vasa Chaitanya doshani. Quote, behold the great fortune of the devotees, of the devotee Kolavecha. Lord Brahma and Shiva shed tears upon seeing his greatness. One cannot attain Lord Krishna by any amount of wealth, followers, or learning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is controlled only by pure devotion. Unquote. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very sincere devotee whose name was Kolavecha Sridhar, and whose only business was to sell pots made of the skin of banana trees. Whatever income he had, he used 50% for the worship of Mother Ganges, and with the other 50% he provided for his necessities. On the whole, he was so very poor that he lived in a cottage that had a broken roof with many holes in it. He could not afford brass utensils, and therefore he drank water from an iron pot. Nevertheless, he was a great devotee of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is a typical example of how a poor man with no material possessions can become a most exalted devotee of the Lord. The conclusion is that one cannot attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Goswami through material opulence. That shelter is attainable only by pure devotional service. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karma anatitam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktir uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain, through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Janmanunam mahato naso bhagam navan nabodhir nakritishta sahitu taryat vishishtam apino vano kashas chakara sakki vatam lakshmana praja. So the Supreme Lord is Suridam Sarvabhutana. Is the friend of every living entities. However, he is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's like the Father is the friend of also his children. Unfortunately, the conditioned souls are covered up by the modes of material nature, specifically Tamagun and Rajagun. So somehow we have lost our connection. The connection is there, but it's not lost. It's just covered up. Therefore, as the sloka says, that there are many material qualities mentioned here. And all of them are not really prerequisites. They're not required to revive one's eternal relationship with Lord Krishna. Whether one took birth in an aristocratic family, or one is very beautiful, or one is very intelligent, very sharp intelligence is there, or one is a good speaker, or one took birth in a very superior race or country. These are not the qualifications. As the Shastra says, these are not or none of these qualifications is actually prerequisite for friendship with the Lord Sri Ramachandra, or Lord Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or any of the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. How many in this world took birth in a very rich family, as they say? He took birth with a silver spoon in his mouth. That means very, very rich. Even royal family, sons of kings, family of like Samindar. Because in this day and age, when you have a lot of land, then you consider it also as very rich. Real estate is what they call it. Most of the people who are rich, they have a lot of pieces of land or so many properties, big, big houses in each and every major cities of the world. But how many of them actually are devotees? Or, of course, some of them they may show, just like in India, they will have a temple. But the temple is outside of their place of residence, within the property. But then, who will do the puja? They will hire a Brahmin. Right? Swaha, all of those different, you may say, worship. But then they may have also many, many demigods or demigoddesses along with the worship of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, or Sitaram Lakshmana. They're all in one. So they may say that, oh, I'm also worshiping the Supreme Lord, but I'm not doing it directly. I'm doing it through, now becoming a big family here. Sounds like Vrindavan. Haribo. So, yes. A richness or being born in an aristocratic family is not a qualification. How about beauty? Look at Kuja. Kuja she's hunchback. But somehow or other, she won the heart of Lord Krishna. She had a lusty desire to fulfill, to enjoy with her senses Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna is so beautiful. Not just so beautiful, he is the most beautiful, unlimited beauty, all attractive. That's the name of Krishna. Krishna means, Prabhupada says, if there is an appropriate name for God, that means Krishna, all attractive. So Krishna fulfilled her desires. But how many also, one's beauty does not necessarily means that you can attract Krishna. Kunja is not beautiful, but she attracted Krishna. One's eloquence. How many good speakers? How many katakars? Professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam, of the Vedas, of the Puranas. It's like if you go to Vrindavan, you'll see so many billboards as soon as you enter. More billboards than Delhi, so to speak. As soon as you enter Vrindavan, they're all advertising. Utsa, Mahotsa, Kata. Kata here and Kata there, Kata up and down, everywhere. And not all of them are devotees. Many of them, they have this kind of tilak, right? That means mayavad. That means impersonalist. Or some of them, they only have one dot over there, a red dot. That is also, Vaishnava is like, 4 sampradayas. So you go to South India, you've seen big tilak like this, that is Vaishnava. Of course, not having tilak doesn't mean you're also Vaishnava. Some, they just put that for advertisement also. So, maybe very, very good, eloquent speakers. But if there is no bhakti, then you cannot get Krishna. Sharp intelligence, memories, very, very good. Some of them is like what? What's that? You only read once, and you only see once, and they can, Srutidar, they can remember. Oh, just like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very sharp memory. Memory is like encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. Srila Prabhupada also, his memory is so sharp. But others also, there are many scholars in the world, academics in universities. They're very, very intelligent also. Sharp intelligence. But they may know Bhagavad Gita more than we do. But then, because of their lifestyle, is uncontrolled, not disciplined, and therefore, how can they take the attention of Lord Krishna? Or one may belong to a superior race or nation. It's like the greatest nation in America. This is the people there, they consider themselves as more superior than anyone else. Or even, during World War II, Adolf Hitler, he considered his nation, Germany, as the most powerful, greatest nation, and their race. He considered them also as part of the Aryan race, that they want to extinguish all the lesser race. But he even used the swastika sign, the chakra sign, but he did it inverted ways. And they use the Vedas also, they use knowledge from the Vedas. They try to build vimanas, spaceships, from the Vedas. But is he a devotee? No. He's the opposite. He wants to be God himself. So all of these are not prerequisites. These are not the criteria whereby one can attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he mentions about Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti, she considered herself as less intelligent. But she is the wisest of them all. She understood the position of Lord Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why when Lord Krishna was leaving after the Battle of Kurukshetra, he wanted to go back to Dwarka, but she says, no, don't go, just stay. Otherwise, we feel miserable. We feel vacant in our life. And this Akinchana Gochara was mentioned because this is the quality of Lord Krishna. Akinchana Gochara means he can be only realized by a person who is humble and meek. Amanitvam, adambitvam. It's like in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. text 8 to 12. It describes there what is knowledge. It describes chapter 13 means Kshetragya, and the enjoyer of the field of activities. Kshetra means this body, and Kshetragya means the knower of the body, means the self. But ultimately, Krishna is the knower of everyone. He is ultimately the enjoyer. Now we try to enjoy, but we cannot. It's not possible because we are individual, living, spirit entities. And material nature cannot fully satisfy the spirit soul, the Jiva Atma. So only if a devotee or a person before becoming a devotee is humble. It says also in the Christian, the meek shall inherit the earth. It says like that. The meek shall inherit the earth. That means be humble. They can actually enjoy and attain the highest pleasure. So, akinchana gochara. And it says there that this quality, humble and meek, if you have this, then you will understand the other 19 topics or 19 qualities about knowledge. You'll be able to develop the other 19 qualities within oneself, and therefore, ultimately, you'll become enlightened and develop love for Krishna. Humility. Trinadapi Sinechena Taro Iva Saistuna Amanena Manarena Kirtaniya Sadari. Ultimately, without become humble, then we cannot attain Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Humility and surrender is synonymous. One cannot surrender if he is not humble. If he is not humble, how can he surrender? So, yes, one who possesses all these material qualities is expected to become a devotee. And when he actually does, the qualities are properly utilized. So how is it that, yes, for those devotees who are not able to become successful in this life, because not everyone goes back to Godhead in one lifetime, but everyone can try to become a devotee. And then it says in the Bhagavad Gita that one takes birth in an aristocratic family or in the family of learned brahmanas or in the family of devotees. So ultimately, if we have all of these material qualities that we have, and if we use it for Krishna's service, then ultimately one can become a devotee. But if you don't, even if you have all of these material qualities and you don't use for Krishna's service, then no way that one can get closer to the goal of life, which is Krishna Prema. So Prabhupada gave an example here of Kolavecha Sridhar. The Supreme Lord is achieved only by devotion. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. This is the only qualification. One sincere desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devotion and sincerity, the desire to serve. And Kolavecha Sridhar is one of the eternal associates of Lord Krishna also in the spiritual world. Kusuma Sabha Gopa. Kusuma Sabha Gopa is one of the cowherd boys who's only enjoying with Lord Krishna, playing with Lord Krishna. And 500 years ago, he took birth as Sridhar Pandit. Another name for Kolavecha Sridhar is Sridhar Pandit. Sridhar Pandit because he was a Brahmana. But he's very poor. He's very poor. His roof, he lived in a small thatched hut, but his roof is full of holes. He doesn't even have time to fix it. Or money, what to say? Time, money. He doesn't have brass utensils. His water pot is made of iron. And also beaten up, and some holes also. And he's called Kolavecha because his main business is to sell banana barks. So he lived in Navadvip 500 years ago, made out of 9 islands, Navadvip. And Antardvip is in the middle. Antardvip means the place of full surrender. Many of you have been to parikramas. You're very fortunate. You've been to all of those 9 islands. And Kolavecha Sridhar lived in the upper northmost part of the island and southeast of Chankasi's Samadhi. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will do his Nagar Sankirtan, the last stop will always be at Kolavecha Sridhar's ashram. And somehow or other, Kolavecha Sridhar, in those days there is like banana orchard. That means there is a plantation of bananas in that area. It's also called Sridhar's Angam, place of Sridhar Pandit or Kolavecha Sridhar. But nowadays, you will not see not many, if not, maybe no, banana plantation there. But devotees, when they pass by that area, they will offer their dandavat pranams, falling like stick, to offer the obeisances, knowingly that Kolavecha Sridhar, that is his place of residence. So Kolavecha Sridhar is the epitome of, he is very poor. He doesn't have many, nothing. He probably had like, 1 or 2 dhotis, and still the dhotis are full of holes also, very old. He would wash, and the next day, wear the same thing. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would, in his school days, he would come every day to buy different items from Kolavecha Sridhar. He would buy these banana leaves. It's like in West Bengal, Mayapur, when you go, right? They will eat using banana leaves. It tastes the best, actually, the best plate. Not stainless steel plates. The best plate that one can use for honoring prasad is banana leaves. So he will buy banana cups, everything made of banana, from banana products. Banana, what you call, bananas, of course. Banana flowers. You can make some really nice sabji from banana flowers, right? So every day, Nimai will go and come to see Kolavecha Sridhar. Now, Kolavecha Sridhar's price is the best. Is the most reasonable. You cannot argue. You can go and shop everywhere, but his price is the best. But now, Nimai, what he would do is that he would haggle Kolavecha Sridhar's price. He will ask 50% off, discount. It's like nowadays there's so many sales, 10% off, 20% off. But they jack up the price so that, when they put 20%, that is the real price. But Kolaveja Sridhar, so they will pulling and pushing. And Kolaveja Sridhar, there's one quality of Kolaveja Sridhar. He never gets angry. Okay, so Nimai would just leave the money, the paisa, 50% of the price, and he will walk away. Without saying anything. Now Kolaveja Sridhar will walk after him, and he will try to get back the items. Because this is not, see, whatever profit he will get from selling all of these items, he will give 50% for worship of Mother Ganga, Ganga Mata, and 50% for his own personal necessities. But still, this is not enough. What profit he will make? And at night time, is always absorbed in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Kirtan. One can do kirtan alone. Kirtan means loud chanting, just like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, he performs kirtan alone. But Sankirtan means congregation. So at night time, he will cry while chanting the holy name. And the neighbors, they will think, something is wrong with Sridhar Pandit. He must be hungry. He got nothing to eat. But actually, he was crying for the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And as Srila Prabhupada says, one should cry like a child. And if while chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, tears are not flowing from your eyes, coming out from your eyes, that means we still have many desires within our heart that we have to get rid of. Our hearts are not melted yet by chanting the holy name. But Sridhar Pandit, he has love of God. He's crying. So they will haggle, they will push back and forth, but then ultimately, okay, you can go. What can I do? And he will be also inside, actually he was smiling. I am defeated by this boy. This boy is so attractive. This boy is so handsome. How can I refuse not giving him these commodities? So for him, it's like not a loss. Actually, he attained so much wealth by giving to Krishna, by giving up to Krishna things that we are so attached to. Who is the winner? You are the winner. You are not the loser. But we are so afraid to give up things that we are attached to Lord Krishna. So one day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Sridhar, why are you poor? Why are you poor? And Sridhar, or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you worship Lakshmi. You worship Narayan. I can understand if one worship demigods or goddesses, of course they also get material benefits. And that's true, isn't it? That's why there are more worshippers of Durga Devi. Because they want to fulfill their material desires and easily they can be achieved. But you are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So, Lakshmi is the husband of the one who possessed all wealth, so how come you are poor? And then Sridhar says, well, a bird. It's like, oh, suddenly no birds anyhow. A bird has a nest. And his main business is to find food to feed his little birds. Then all day long, he'll be flying here and there, going from one place to another. As we can see here, the birds, they just go and fly all over the place. Right? And then they come back. He comes back to his nest. He's satisfied. A king, he has a big palace, and he has so many facilities for sense enjoyment. So what is the difference? The bird is enjoying. He has a very modest, tiny nest. And he flies all day long and he's enjoying. And the king, he has so much facilities and he's also enjoying. So similarly, they're both happy, isn't it? So Kolavecha Sridhar says, happiness is not attained if you have material facilities. It's not. That's not the criteria. So Kolavecha Sridhar, he understood that one cannot be happy if you have all of these material necessities or material qualifications. You cannot attain. And when the Mahaprakash Leela, the 21 hours pastimes of the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came into trance and ecstasy, and he called every devotees, all the associates, and he showed his different features of Vishnu, incarnations of Lord Vishnu. He showed himself as Varaha, as Nrsimhadev, as Ram. And he asked the devotees, you go and look for Sridhar. I want him also. Because everyone is getting boons and benedictions. So you call Sridhar. I want him. I want to give him boon also. So how can we find him? Don't worry. You will hear loud chanting of Hare Krishna. Is the only one who you can hear is like crying, chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord. So the devotees came, they fetched him, they brought to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Sridhar, what is it that you wish to have? I want to give you a boon. I can even give you the 8 mystic perfections of yoga. Sridhar says, my dear Lord, I don't want anything from you. No, I don't want anything. No, please, I want to offer you. You are my dear devotee. Eventually, by the, not force, but by the encouragement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sridhar Pandit asked for a boon. And he says, my dear Lord, I wish that birth after birth, that I may serve that young boy who comes to me every day, who huggles my merchandise. I just want to serve him birth after birth. Nothing else. Nothing else. You see, just like Prahlad Maharaj, he doesn't want any boon from Lord Nrsimhadev. But eventually he says, if you're going to give me a boon, then I wish that everyone gets liberated, including my father. You forgive him. So devotee, ultimately, the greatest the topmost devotee, they don't ask anything for themselves. In the beginning, that's fine. Please give me this, please give me that, for my family, for my loved ones, for my friends. Nothing wrong with that. But the highest is nothing for themselves. And Kolavecha Sridhar is such amazing that that even during the Sankirtan, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will seemingly, of course, his Atmaram, he is fully satisfied. He gets tired and he gets thirsty. So he will come to Sridhar Pandit's house and then he will drink from this beaten up, many holes goblet, cup, metal iron lota. And he will drink from this and Sridhar will feel, so my dear Lord, no, please don't. I will go to hell. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, this is nectar. This is nectar. That's why, if you can get Mahaprasad from a very advanced devotee, that helps you to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's a Supreme Lord, and he's still trying to get some nectar from his devotee. How is that? Of course, sometimes devotees, they will take prasadam from each other. You've seen this, I've seen this. And it's very embarrassing also. Sometimes a Prabhupada's disciple will take prasadam from my plate, and not knowingly, stealing. So they lock the Mahaprasad, and still they found a way how to take the Mahaprasad. So they told Prabhupada what to do. They're stealing Mahaprasad. Prabhupada says, they're making advancement. Don't steal Mahaprasad, okay? We have plenty of Mahaprasad here in Prabhupada. In Vrindavan, they sell Mahaprasad because Prabhupada says you have to sell Mahaprasad in Vrindavan. So, Kolavecha Sridhar is an exceptional devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before taking sannyas, Sridhar Pandit, he knew that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go away. So he offered gourd. What do you call it in Hindi? Gourd? Yeah. He offered gourd to Lord Chaitanya. But he's leaving the next day. But in order to please Kolavecha Sridhar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Mother Sachi to cook before leaving. And he wanted to honor this gourd that's been offered by Kolavecha Sridhar. So, Prabhupada gave that very nice example here in this purport, that beauty, aristocracy, beauty, knowledge, being eloquent speaker, or having a superior birth, these are not the qualifications for becoming a devotee, for attaining love of God. It is only by Bhakti. And because Bhakti is inert in everyone's heart, then actually it is easier to become a devotee than a non-devotee. Non-devotee, everybody has to endeavor. Everybody has to struggle in this world. Devotees struggle also. Devotees, they endeavor also a lot. The devotees, they perform austerities, but everything for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. The materialists, they also endeavor, they perform austerity, they do all the things. They do everything that the devotees do, but because they're doing it for their own benefit, or their family, or their friends, or their loved ones, then ultimately it becomes the source of miseries and sufferings. And they become far and far away from the goal of life. Material wealth? No. Even that story of Sanatana Goswami, when there is the Brahmana who asks for the Chintamani stone, right? That can make everything gold, touch. But then he thought himself, what is the use of this? How come here be garbage? This is not very, very good. This is not the most important thing to attain. So let me go back. And then Sanatana Goswami says, you really want the best? The topmost? Then you have to throw this into Ganga. So he went, Ganga, Yamuna? Ganga. I like Ganga. Yamuna. They're the same actually. Ganga becomes Yamuna because Lord Krishna. They're the same. Okay. I will follow you. Yamuna. So, the Brahman says, okay, I turn away. So what is it? The most priceless things in this world. What is the best? Here, the holy name of the Lord. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So, yes, actually, ultimately, the simpler we are, the more easier to surrender. Don't complicate things. The more simple you are, the more easier to attain the lotus feet of Sri Radha Parthasarana. Okay. No need of other qualifications, only bhakti. And bhakti is within us, so what could be easier than that? Hare Krishna. We stop here. Happiness is the real wealth. Oh, yes. Another example is Vidura. Vidura is a poor Brahmana, but Lord Krishna would rather eat the cooking of his wife than the offerings of Duryodhana, who is very, very rich. He would not eat in Duryodhana's place. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, it doesn't matter, even if he's a poor Brahmana, as long as he is a lakpati. Right? Lakpati means, not wealth, material rupees, but who chants 100 times the holy name of the Lord. He would rather eat. If he is not chanting that much, then even if you invite Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will not eat. God bless. My dear Panditji, anything else?
हरे कृष्ण बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।